Hi, today we're going to talk about creating a ground sortie in WMIRS. A ground sortie in WMIRS is the input of the 109 for any ground sortie. Today's example, we're going to use a travel to and from mission because they are just as important as the sorties that you use during the mission, and they also contain the same information. So to keep it simple, we're going to use a simple travel to and from. You'll notice in the WMIRS screen we have our mission numbers all the way over to our air and ground sorties. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to our current mission number, which is a February mission for Connecticut, and I'm just going to click on the 2, and that's going to bring me to the ground sorties list. You'll notice these sorties are canceled. These are previous ones that I put in as an example. You click add new sortie. You'll see the sortie number, new sortie. That will populate itself once you hit update, once you put some information in. The tracking number is an internal tracking number that would be given to you by the IC or the ground branch director before you put this information in. Our sortie type for this particular sortie is going to be travel to and from mission. You'll notice that we have a whole bunch of different ones in here. We're just going to pick travel to and from. Today we're going to be traveling from Danbury, and say we left at 7:30 in the morning. Okay, and we're going to be going to Hartford, and we expect to be there by 8 o'clock, or 8:30 I should say. Okay, we're guesstimating an hour, and we'll use the call sign Charter Oak. Why are we looking for a call sign? Because if we need to get in touch with the vehicle should have its cap radio on, and we're looking for the call sign for the vehicle. Now every vehicle has a call sign, and that's posted within the vehicle, and you should know that and be aware of it. This particular sortie, once you hit update, the sortie will populate itself with vehicles and personnel. You'll notice there's nothing listed here, so you have to add what vehicle you're using. Previously, I added the 6001 Dodge Caravan to the sortie. I'm going to click add at this particular time, and now it's assigned to this particular sortie. So we know we're using it for that. It gives us the make, the model, okay, the cap ID. And we have to add the personnel that will be traveling. So we'll use myself as an example. We'll say, okay, he's a driver, and he's going to be driving the Dodge Caravan, and I'm checking off the driver because that'll identify me as the driver. Say I have other personnel with me. I'll say I'll have Major Westman. Okay, she's going to be a passenger in the Dodge Caravan, and I'm going to take that check mark off because Major Westman does not have her driver's license, nor will she be a driver for this, her cap driver's license, I should say. Once this information is in the system, we can hit update. Okay, by clicking update, that now saves that information in here. You'll see the Dodge Caravan is assigned to this sortie, okay, and you'll see both myself and Major Westman are assigned. Now we need to brief our sortie, and that has to be done before you leave. Okay, so our assignment is, in this particular thing, is to travel to the Hartford mission base. Okay, would there be any grids or areas assigned? No, because this is just a travel to or from, so we put NA. Other agency radio capabilities would be NA. Base call sign would be NA, base phone numbers, all right? For example, I'll just put my cell phone in, but if we had the IC's phone number, we would put the base phone number in or the IC's phone number in there. And restricted areas. Restricted areas, in this particular case would be NA. Search grid would be NA. Aircraft radio call, NA, because there will be no aircraft in the air during our travel time. Target sighting actions will be NA. Other agencies would be NA. The weather, I'm going to put VFR. Weather is sunny, rainy, overcast. Okay, that's important information because we need to know if it's snowing, something that could happen. Expected within the next 24 hours. Expected within the next 24 hours means what is the weather going to be in the next 24 hours. So our forecast says it's going to be what we call visual flight rules, or VFR. It's going to be clear. So I'm going to put VFR down. And if there's any other information that I want to put in there, we would put it in there at this particular time. I'm just going to hit simple NA. Your briefing officer cannot be yourself or anyone within the car. You got to be talking to somebody before you leave. So it could be the ground branch director, it could be the IC, it could be a planning section chief, it could be somebody who can release you, and somebody who is notified that you will be traveling. 464-388 is Major Malaguti. Okay. And I'll put that in there and hit update. Alright. Why do you need to do this? Why do you need to contact somebody? Because we then know you're traveling. We then know if you don't show up in the time frame that you're expected to show up in, there may be a problem. We may need to start searching for you. So, you know, all of these things may seem tedious, and, you know, but they're for your safety and for the safety of everybody within the vehicle. So once this is completed, you then can be released, and you can go on. At this particular point, you can click on Form 109, and you can print this out and take this with you. And you'll notice the 109, it fills in all the information that's here, right? All right. You'll notice one of the things that 109 is looking for is starting and ending mileage. Just like any other mission that we go on, you need to know that information. All right. And as you see, it's got everything filled in. So we will go back at this particular point. And now we have arrived in Hartford. So I'm going to go into my debriefing information. Well, we didn't leave at 7:30. Say we left at 7:25. And traffic was lighter than we expected, so we actually got there at 8:15. Our starting odometer, we'll say it's 12,350.8. Okay. And our ending odometer, say, is 12,401.2. So that tells us our starting and ending mileage, and it will also tell us if the fuel receipt makes sense. And what happens is, when we're looking at the reimbursement for fuel, they're taking the total mileage that you put on the vehicle, dividing it into the number of gallons that you use, and it makes it, or the number of gallons you use into the total mileage, to see if it makes sense. If you're dividing, you know, if the division turns out that you're getting 2 miles to the gallon, that doesn't make sense. And there's a good chance that the 1st Air Force will not approve the receipt for reimbursement. So you got to be careful on that and make sure that that information that you put into the system is very accurate. So in this case, I'm going to use a receipt from a previous mission. I'm going to show you the information that needs to be on it. So this is a fuel receipt that I use for a ground sortie. You'll notice I have my name on it, my cap ID, okay, the mission number, and the sorties, okay, that it is associated with. It's important to put, if you have multiple sorties, it's important to put the multiple sorties in there, because you're going to take the mileage from both sorties and add them in. Okay, and you'll notice on the bottom I put the vehicle that was utilized and the total miles that make, you know, to show what the vehicle is. So the vehicle is a Ford F-150. The total gallons was 18.51, and we went 103 miles. So in that calculation, it made sense that this amount of fuel worked for this many miles used. Now we have to have where we bought it, the date that we bought the fuel, okay, a receipt number or transaction number needs to be on it, and we have the gallons and the price and total price, okay. So I'm going to just move this out of the way because we got to put this information in here. So I'm going to put the fuel cost as 47. Total gallons were 18.513. Okay. Now, if I personally paid for it, I'm going to put my cap ID in here, 389579, and I'm going to tell it to directly pay the member. Then I would choose a file, and I'm not going to do it today because it's very, actually I'm going to do it. So we're going to pick that. You'll see that that's here. Now, one of the things that we need to complete also is what it was like out. It's the conditions were, was it scattered clouds, no precipitation, light conditions were bright, no moon because we were driving during a day with visibility. I always put, if it's clear out, no, greater than 5 miles, because typically from a car you really can't see much farther than that. Flat because we were driving on the highways, ground cover was open, and wind speed was calm. Then I'll put in my remarks here, and we have to put our debriefing time in, and again our debriefing officer. So we go 464388. Okay, and I will put traveled from Danbury to Hartford without incident. Now, if you're doing an actual mission, obviously you would put a lot of detail in here as to what actually happened. But now I'm going to click update. All right, and you will see here that by putting in his ID, Major Malaguti's information came in. He's my debriefing officer. He's the guy I'm going to call and say, hey, we got home okay, so you don't have to worry about us. Now you will see all of this information's in here, okay, and that is the completion of a Form 109.